Hello, welcome to Woodline Tracking. Today we're going to discuss and do a comparison of California to Texas. And this isn't really to say one state's better than the other, it's to compare the different types of approach of government and the different types of views and the different types of people that live in there. Not saying they're all one way, this is just a general way of comparing it. A lot of the information you probably will hear me talking about I got from a couple of videos that will be posted below. I urge you to go watch these videos. They're very interesting about comparing the two and what's going on in the politics and the people's lives there and the governments. Why is it important to compare these two? Because we are looking for truth, not propaganda. And there's a lot of propaganda out there, but if we look at the truth of what's going on in each state, it'll compare the difference of politics and attitudes of each state, and that's important for us, for our country, so we can know what the truth is, so we can go down the right path and have a better life. I think everybody here will agree that California is pretty much a liberal path, where Texas took pretty much a conservative path on the ways they govern in politics. This is important because if we choose the wrong path for our state, for our country, it can be that, Californians can leave California and go to Texas and have a better life. But if we screw up and go as the wrong path for our country, we don't have to go to another country. We just can't stay in our country. And where do we go? What country is better than ours? So I urge you to think about this video and watch the other two videos that I put on the link to help tie into this video. Okay, let's do a little bit of comparison to California to Texas in a general space. California and Texas both are very, for the most part, large states. They have a lot of land, a lot of natural resources. They both have many big businesses, Fortune 500 companies that are based out of their states. But right now, a lot of Californians are leaving and going to Texas and to other states. It's just Texas is the biggest one that seems like they're going. Mostly, the reason why most of them are leaving California and going to Texas is the cost of living. It costs 40 to 50 times more to live in California than it does to live in Texas. If you move from California to Texas right now, on the average, your standard of living will go up 45%. That's a big difference between the two states. In California, on the average, a gallon of gas will cost you $4. In Texas, it will cost you $2 on the average. Now, things have gone down a little bit here, but on the average. Also, in California, the corporate tax rate is the sales tax rate is 7.25%. In Texas is 6.25%. The corporate tax is 8.8% in California and 1% in Texas. Income tax in California is 13.3%. In Texas, the income tax is a big old 0. So there's a humongous difference in taxes that are going out between the two states and what you'll pay as a personal and as a business. In California, an average small business, to comply to regulations, will pay nearly $135,000 a year in fees and all kinds of stuff that cause for regulations of corporate. So basically, that's a lot of small businesses have to pony up to do business in California. Another thing, because California has such crazy and strict EPA and green deals and stuff, people of California pay on the average 50% more than the national average for their power. That's a big difference on paying for your power. Okay. To make a median monthly rent in California, you have to get an average of $48 per hour out of your job to pay your regular rent, median monthly rent. In California, 1 out of 5 people are poor. 1 out of 5 on the average is poor. It has a higher rate of poor people in California than Texas by 30%. So 30%, it's higher than, it has more, 30% more people that are poor than Texas on the average. 1/3 of the people that are on welfare in across the country, so if you have all the people that are on welfare across the country, 1/3 of them people live in California. That's a big number for one state. California's homeless population is out of control. They're very hooked on drugs. They are very violent. Basically, California alone has 48% of the homeless population across the nation. That's a big population of homeless. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the laws and law enforcement. Basically, California took the path of punishing law-abiding citizens and making excuses or rewarding law breakers. You see it all the time. The sanctuary cities, there's a bunch of immigrants that head there because they know they can get protection and they're breaking the law. And the poor law-abiding people there have to put up with all this. I mean, you can go online, you can see videos of people just looting the stores because the laws won't allow you to prosecute people for certain dollar amounts. You can steal and bribe. I mean, it makes no sense. And the leadership of California, more or less, don't take a very friendly attitude to the police. I mean, I would hate to be a police officer there. My heart goes out to police officers there that are doing a good job and trying to enforce the laws of your state, but you get slapped in the face by your government all the time. I mean, it has to be a tough job to do. So, I mean, that's a reason, those are major problems for society, because why would you follow the law? And we need good law enforcement to help keep the law, because we need a society that follows the law for a good society. I mean, I don't understand why they took the path they did, but I guess we'll talk about it here in the near future why it ends up that way. And also, California has some very strict gun laws, but it doesn't do any bit of good because the criminals ain't gonna follow the law. All it does is take away from law-abiding citizens from protecting themselves, and now they have to look towards the government for protection. That's totally wrong. That's totally unconstitutional. It's up to you to protect yourself, and the government and the police just to enforce the law and give you the opportunity to protect yourself. And by disarming them, it doesn't do a bit of good, as you can see. So, why the two difference? Why are the states so different? It's because the different paths of politics each state took. I think we can pretty much say California took the liberal path, where Texas took the conservative path on politics and their views and everything. Basically, California now is all about control, and Texas basically tries to give freedom to their citizens. Well, California wants to control everything you do, so you look for them for dependence. You can see it in the data and in the facts. You know, more or less, I bet you if you were to ask, you see, most Californians want the government to take care of them. And I don't mean all, I just mean on the average, the path that they took politically. where Texans mostly want the government out of the way, and we'll take care of ourselves. You just allow me to provide me the ability to do that. And that's what our Constitution was based on. So more or less, our country was based on everybody taking personal responsibility for themselves, their finances, for the protection. Again, it's not up to the cops to protect you. It's up to you to protect yourself. The cops are supposed to enforce the law. And that's a very smart way of leaving it that way. So more or less, you're also going to be responsible for your finances, not look for the government for handouts, or, oh, I have these sad stories. We all have sad stories. So when you take personal responsibility for all these actions, it makes a much better society, a lot more money, a lot more freedom. But of course, when you turn it over to the government and allow the government to take care of all this, you look up and all your freedom is gone, and you're depending on the scraps from them to survive. And as you can see, California has big problems where Texas is growing. So just look at the facts that are there. Basically, all this boils down to is the truth. You need to search for the truth, not propaganda. Propaganda will tell you to go with your feelings, go with your heart, and oh, this is great, this will work. But if you really search for the truth, you will see what is best. And the truth are the facts. Not no propaganda facts, but the true facts. As I present some here to you to make you think about this. And again, you need to search for the truth for yourself. Well, you might ask, how do I search for the truth? Well, you need to think, you need to study. You need to come up with your own opinions on things, because some stuff is gray areas and we can debate that, but some stuff are rock hard, and the best place to do that is to start with the U.S. Constitution, know what the Constitution, the federal Constitution gives you as your rights and what the government's below the government, and then look towards your state constitution. And another thing you should look at, especially if you're a Christian, is the Bible. Know your Bible. Know all this. So if you have all this stuff, you'll know the truth, and then you can start connecting the dots. The problem is schools nowadays, all they basically teach is what they want propagandized to teach, because they keep on ramming it down the throat of the kids, and we're becoming zombies. So we need to get back to the truth. So why is all this important? Why do we need to know all this? Because it's fine. Californians can leave California and go to Texas or go someplace else. That's great. But if we screw up the whole country, where are we going to go? What's going to happen? So I urge you, pray to God if you're a Christian. Get spirit filled, seek wisdom from God, and then study up and learn your rights from the Constitution, from the federal and your state constitution, and hold the politicians responsible. Don't ask for any free rides. Take care of yourself. Take personal responsibility and take care of yourself, and your life will be much better than to depending on somebody else. Now, I know we probably get a bunch of comments, oh, what if this, you don't know my situation. You're right, I don't. And we can do what if to the cows come home. Let's just search for the truth and know the truth. Remember, time may go on, but your life may not.